Hello friends, good afternoon. Hi, this is Alok Ojha. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. Now, since many days, students have been asking me a question, sir, please make a short video on answer writing, how to go for writing good answers. Like, for example, there are many questions and in front of the question it is written discuss. Somewhere it is written elaborate. Somewhere it is written elucidate. So does what we say that word has the same connotation or they have a different approach and a meaning to it? So that we are going to explore in today's session. Okay, so it's a short video, but an important one, particularly concerning the answer writing. Okay. Suppose somebody asks you a question that how will you utilize your knowledge in your professional arena? Okay. So how would you begin with the answer? Obviously, my friend, you won't directly start explaining about yourself or how would you utilize your knowledge. First of all, you'll give a brief introduction about yourself. Isn't that so? Like I have done my, graduation from so-and-so field. I have done my post-graduation from so-and-so field. Apart from this, I hold the knowledge of the work area in so-and-so field. So you will give that kind of an introduction and then you will come to the main content. That how you are going to utilize your knowledge particularly in that area. Isn't that so? Similarly, while writing the answer, we have to go for a particular pattern. And that pattern, it is in this format. Okay? Here we have to follow three major steps. Introduction, main body, and conclusion. Okay? Like suppose if there is a question of 5 mark, you don't have that much of space. So directly you go for the main content. Okay? There's no need to go for majorly introduction or the conclusion. Directly go for the main content. But in case of 10 marker and 15 marker question, have this approach because it looks a bit systematic. Correct? What is that approach? At least give a small introduction of 20 to 30 words in a 10 marker question. Go for at least 80 to 90 words main content, whatever the question has been asked to you. And then go for 20 to 30 words of conclusion. In 15 marker question, increase your, number of words. Go for 20 to 30 words as a part of introduction. 20 to 30 words as a part of conclusion. And 80 to 120, 130 words as a part of your main body. Okay? Now one more thing. I'll tell you one more aspect. While going for answer writing, time limit is a very crucial aspect. Like I'll give you a very small example. In the paid classes, I have seen many, specifically in the classes, I have seen many of the students who write very good answers. But the problem is they cannot match the time limit. Suppose you're writing a 10 marker question. And for writing a 10 marker question, it takes you 20 minutes. In that case, that is not a feasible thing, guys. So apart from writing good answers, you also need to manage the time. So do one thing. What happens here? For 10 marker, you can give maximum, I'm telling you, 7.5 to 8 minutes. And for 15 marker, you can give approximately 10 to 12 minutes. Do one thing. I'll tell you how you need to understand that do you have a proper pace of answer writing or not. Just do one thing. Take a question, okay? And so it's a 10 marker question. Take an alarm clock along your side, okay? And start writing. As soon as it is 7.5 minutes, stop writing your answer. Count the number of words that you have written. Okay? This is for 7.5 to 8 minutes. Okay? After that time, what will happen? Again, rewrite the same answer, but this time do not have an alarm clock by your side. Just give how much time you require. Okay? Now do the comparison. Like you have wrote so many words in this manner within 7.5 minutes. And you have written so many words without looking for the time. Just calculate the time lapse and start practicing in that manner. So, my friends, apart from the number of words, apart from proper presentation, you also need to have a look at the timing. Okay? You can calculate it. You can go through the past year UPSC's paper. Now, next question comes here. Sir, many of the students have a question. Sir, many a times we write good answers, but we land up getting average marks. What is the major reason behind that? My friends, like as I've told you previously as well, that every word has a different connotation. There's a different meaning of the word elucidate. There's a different approach and a meaning of the word critically analyze. There's a different meaning of the word enlist, discuss, and so on. So I'll give you a few examples, okay? And I'll try to explain you. Then we will understand things. UPSC question, one of the question goes like, our system acts very much like a sponge, drawing up all the good waters from the bank of river Ganges and squeezing them down on the bank of river Thames. Elucidate. So here the question crops up in the mind of every aspirant. What is UPSC trying to ask here? Elucidate simply means one thing, and that is clarify. How will you clarify that? You'll clarify that with the help of an example. Okay? So what is this question actually trying to ask you? Is it a statement given by somebody? So let's analyze about this. This is a statement that is being given by John Sullivan. And you would be very astonished to know about this. What is this statement actually trying to tell you? I'll give you a small hint. I've taken a sponge, dipped that sponge in the river Ganges. I've taken that sponge again, and I've squeezed that, what we say, sponge in river Thames. I'm giving a small hint, and I'm now explaining what this statement is actually trying to say. Okay? Pay attention carefully. When Britishers came to India, they forced our peasants to cultivate commercial crops. Now, agriculture is of different types, but broadly, it is classified into two categories: commercialized agriculture and subsistence agriculture. In commercialized agriculture, I cultivate those crops which are high in demand in the national as well as international market. Tobacco, poppy, opium, cotton, indigo, sugarcane. All these are commercial crops. On the other hand, in subsistence agriculture, I cultivate those crops which are useful for my daily life. So, when Britishers came to India, they forced our peasants to cultivate commercial crop. Suppose I'm a peasant, and now Britishers have told me that cultivate cotton on your field and we will give you loans for cultivation of that cotton, and this loan is called as Dadon. Okay? Now, before the harvest itself, we will purchase this cotton from you. Now, I'm ready for this because it's a good deal. Now, the crop is ready for the harvest, and Britishers are telling me, if you want to sell this for ₹1, you can sell it. Or 2, you can sell it. Otherwise, we are not going to purchase it. Now, there was a lack of major capital-intensive industries in India. So, at this time, as a peasant, I had to sell this crop at a petty price of ₹1 or 2. Now, this crop goes to Manchester or Liverpool. From there, it goes to London and it is converted into manufactured textile. Superior quality, fine quality textile, it is exported to USA. Cheap, substandard quality textile, it comes to India. Simple words, the material for the raw market was India. Okay, sorry, the raw material market was India. And the final product market is India. Isn't that so? So can you observe one thing? How in a very methodological manner, how in a very systematic manner, India's resources are being drained out of India. And this was highlighted for the first time by Dadabhai Navroji in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. It was also highlighted by R.C. Dattaji in his book Economic History of India. And what is this all about? Very simple words. This is nothing but drain of wealth theory. Correct? So that was a statement actually given by John Sullivan. So this statement is precisely asking you about drain of wealth theory. So clarify the statement, elucidate. How will you clarify the statement? With the help of an example. Got it? Moving ahead with the next question. Indus Valley civilization was quite dynamic. Elaborate. Now, here try to make things simpler by giving vivid aspects of Indus Valley civilization. How? I have given you few examples like extent of IVC, basic typology, great granary, great bath. I'll give you a few examples about this, okay? Like, speak about the extent of Indus Valley civilization. Like, in such questions, you can do one thing. You can go for flowcharts or you can go for diagrammatic explanation of things. Draw a small diagram and just beside the diagram, go for a small explanation. Things will look systematic. Okay? Like extent of IVC. The northernmost site of Indus Valley civilization is Manda in Jammu and Kashmir. Actually, if we see, there are many sites in Afghanistan as well. Like Shortugai, it's a site in Afghanistan. Mundigak, it's a site in Afghanistan. So, here we are telling the extent precisely in India. So, the northernmost site of Indus Valley civilization was Manda, located in Jammu and Kashmir. Southernmost site was Daimabad, located in Maharashtra. Easternmost site is Alamgirpur, located in western UP. And the westernmost site is Sutka Gendor, located on Pakistan-Iran border. If we have an aerial look of Indus Valley civilization, it is roughly quadrilateral or triangular in shape and covers approximately 850,000 square kilometers of IVC, 850,000 square kilometers of Indian subcontinent. Okay? Then, explain the basic typology. Like, I'll give you another important example. Like, Indus Valley city is divided into two parts, upper citadel and lower citadel. Simple words, we have seen all these things in details. Okay. What is citadel? Citadel is a wall-like fortification or a slope-like structure which protects the city or which prevents the city from getting flooded. Correct? Like, I'll give you a very simple example. Suppose this is the lower part of the city and this is the upper part of the city. Okay? So this slope-like structure or a wall-like structure, similarly this slope-like a structure or wall-like a structure is referred as citadel. And actually its purpose might be preventing the city from getting flooded. Correct? Upper citadel and lower citadel classification can be based on class stratification as well. So what is the purpose of citadel? Protect the city from getting flooded. Indus Valley city is usually divided into two parts, upper citadel and lower citadel. There was a site, example, I'll give you Dholavira, which is located in Gujarat. In local language, it is called as Kotada Timba. It is divided into three parts, upper town, middle town and lower town. Lothal, it is divided into 6 parts and all these parts are made on unripe bricks. Okay? Mohenjo-daro, as the name suggests, it was destroyed by flood. Mohenjo-daro, mound of dead, destroyed by flood. Citadel was being destroyed. Chanhu-daro, another important site located on the banks of river Indus in Pakistan without a citadel. So, this is a basic typology. Another important feature which actually depicts the vividness or the dynamic character of what we say Indus Valley civilization was the concept of great granary. Now, the agriculture practices started majorly during Neolithic age. And apart from agriculture, there was development of pottery because people required something for cooking, eating, drinking, and storing the food grains. Okay? And here, at the site of Harappa, 2 rows of 6 granary have been found. What is the structure of granary all about? Let's explore. It is divided into 4 parts. This is agricultural field where the crops are being produced. This is a threshing floor where the grain is separated from the chaff. This is the actual structure of granary where the food grains are being stored. And this is nothing but barracks. So what is barracks? It is meant for housing the laborers. The laborers who will work here, threshing floor or the granary, where will they stay? They will stay in the barracks. And this entire structure is called as Great Granary, which was found for the first time at the site of Harappa. In simple word, what is granary? Godowns for storing the food grains. What does that exhibit? During Neolithic age, people used to store food grains precisely in earthen vessels, and now they require huge godowns for storage of the food grains. It simply exemplifies the surplus amount of food grain production prevalent at that time. Correct? So that is nothing but one of the vivid characters or characteristic features of Indus Valley civilization. Now let me tell you another simple example about the structure of the roads of the Indus Valley civilization. Okay? Like this is the main road, which is comparatively broader in comparison to the side lanes or alleys. The main road is approximately 13 to 34 feet. The side lanes or alleys is approximately 9 to 11 feet. One can find well between 2 houses in Lower Citadel, and one can find well within the courtyard of the house in Upper Citadel. Wells are made up of burn bricks. Houses are made up of burn bricks and wood. There is a vertical drainage as well as horizontal drainage. The drains are being covered by stone slabs, which simply exemplifies that people were aware about hygiene. Correct? So all these things exhibit the vivid characteristic features of Indus Valley civilization. So whenever there's a question and in front of that it is given elaborate, so try to highlight the characteristic features. Okay? Next, Zamindari system of land revenue has pros and cons both. Discuss. So when it is discuss here, what you have to do? Simple word, you have to highlight the negative and the positive aspect both. I'll give you an example now. Okay? Now, during the time of English East India Company, there were 3 major presidencies in India: Bombay, Bengal, and Madras. And all these presidencies had their respective governors. Like there was a separate governor for Bombay, separate for Madras, and a separate for Bengal. But the governor of Bengal was being designated as Governor General of Bengal, and Governor of Madras and Bombay were subordinated to Governor General of Bengal. The first Governor General of Bengal was Lord Warren Hastings. In the coming years, the Governor General of Bengal was further designated as Governor General of India. And the first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. So first Governor General of Bengal was Warren Hastings. He was being succeeded by Cornwallis. Cornwallis is also called as blue-blooded aristocrat. Why? Because he came from the noble family. Cornwallis, he came up with the theory of separation of power. Apart from this, Cornwallis came up with a new system of land revenue in India, and that was Zamindari system or permanent settlement. Now, what is Zamindari system or permanent settlement? Let's understand, and then we will highlight the positive and negative aspects of it. Very simple words. In zamindari system, English East India Company directly is not going to collect the revenue from the peasants or cultivators. Okay? English East India Company has appointed zamindar as a middleman. Now this zamindar, he will connect the revenue from the peasant. He will keep his commission and give the amount to the company. 89% revenue approximately went to the company and 11% was kept by zamindar. Okay? This system is also called as permanent settlement. Why it is called as permanent settlement? Because here the revenue for a decade that needs to be paid by peasant is fixed. Okay? Now, let's come up to the pros and cons, because here it has been given discuss. So highlight the positive and the negative aspects both. What is what is the positive side here? The positive aspect here is, suppose I'm a peasant, I know that I have to pay a yearly revenue or a yearly tax of rupees 100. I have earned rupees 500, I have paid 100 rupees as a tax. Here, whatever money that I have earned surplus can be again invested back in the land, so that the fertility of the soil could be replenished. But what is one of the negative aspects of this zamindari system? Here, the taxes should be based on the productivity, not on the quantity. A small example. Suppose I'm a peasant and there's a neighboring peasant here. He has 1 acre of land, I have 1 acre of land. I pay government 100 rupees as a tax and he pays the government 100 rupees as a tax. On 1 acre, there is 5 quintal cultivation of wheat, and on his 1 acre, there is 10 quintal cultivation of wheat. So isn't this a sort of injustice towards me? Correct? Because here, the taxes should be based on the actual production, productivity, and not on the quantity of the land that we hold. Correct? So these are the pros and cons of zamindari system. So hope you understood elucidate, that is clarify. Then comes discuss. Okay? Pros and cons. Elaborate. Simple words, highlight the characteristic features. Okay? Then comes critically analyze. Now here, about critically analyze, I'll give you a small example about Swadeshi movement. The question is, Swadeshi movement was quite successful, but it fizzled out. Critically analyze. Simple words. Here you need to highlight the causes for the failure of the Swadeshi movement. Here in critical analysis, you have to go for what? You have to go for simple words, highlighting the negative features of it. Now I'll tell you one more thing. Whenever such questions appear from the perspective of GS paper 4 or ethics, and there's a word called as critically analyze. Okay, suppose there's a case study given, and if there's a question that has been asked, okay, like what would you be doing in that case, or if there's a question like critically analyze. So whenever you are highlighting an example, start your answers like as per legal luminaries, as per political scientists, as per historians, as per various laws of jurisprudence. So here you are trying to authenticate your answer. Okay? So here, Swadeshi movement, like I'll give you a small example. Lord Curzon, he was known for his 2 policies in India, divide and rule and carrot and stick policy. Now, he announced the partition of Bengal on the pretext that Bengal has become too big to be administered by a single viceroy. That was the that was the agenda that he was portraying. But what was the actual intrinsic agenda? To divide Bengal on communal lines. Because West Bengal was a Hindu majority province and East Bengal was a Muslim majority province. Correct? So against this partition of Bengal, what happened? Call for Swadeshi movement was taken at Banaras session of Indian National Congress in 1905 by Gopal Krishna Gokhale ji. And here, Swadeshi and boycott both are complementary to each other. It is not only boycott of foreign goods, but boycott of foreign clothes, boycott of foreign sugar and salt, boycott of government schools and colleges. Swadeshi movement was also referred as Vande Mataram movement. Okay. Now, initially it was decided by the moderates that the movement will just be confined to the region of Bengal. But by different extremist leaders such as Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji, he spread the movement in the Bombay presidency, Lala Lajpat Rai ji in the Punjab, then Sayyid Haidar Raja in the region of Delhi, Chidambaram Pillai in the region of Madras presidency. So although the movement, it began from the region of Bengal, it became a pan-India movement now. And at this time, the major leaders who spread the movement were extremist leaders, although it was being initiated by a moderate leader. Okay? Now, I have told you, Britishers usually have adopted two policies, divide and rule, and second was carrot and stick. So since the extremists were spreading the movement, it was necessary to bring moderates on our side. So how to bring moderates on our side? By giving them certain reforms. And at that time, Britishers, not English East India Company, Britishers, they came up with Indian Council Act 1909, also referred as Morley-Minto reforms. So what happened as per this? Moderates went on the side of the Britishers, and extremist Britishers came up heavily on the extremist newspaper. They were being heavily penalized. Many of them were being imprisoned. Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji, he was being imprisoned in Mandalay jail for the next 6 years. Bipin Chandra Pal retired from the active politics. Then Aurobindo Ghosh, he retired from the active politics and settled in the region of Pondicherry. So this is the main reason of Swadeshi movement getting fizzled out. That was the reason of the failure, because now the movement was rendered leaderless. So critically analyze simply highlights one thing, highlight the negative aspect, followed by a positive approach in the conclusion. So words play a very important role, guys. Critically analyze, elucidate, illustrate, discuss, enlist. Okay? Now, another important question, sir, can we go for the flow charts? Yes, you can go for the flow charts, but proper utilization of space should be done. Can we go for diagrams and maps? For example, if you're explaining the monsoon in geography, okay, and you have to explain the southern part of India, like how specifically the southwest monsoon wind, it strikes the region of Kerala and gets divided into two branches, correct? That is Arabian Sea branch and Bay of Bengal branch, correct? Like on this side, you will show the Western Ghats, this side you will show the Eastern Ghats. So the Bay of Bengal branch, it picks up more moisture from the region of Bay of Bengal and finally it goes into the region of Garo, Khasi and Jaintia and gives heavy rainfall in the region of Meghalaya. On the other hand, the Arabian Sea branch, it gives what? Orographic rainfall. Because of the Western Ghats, it strikes the Western Ghats and gives the orographic rainfall. So you can give a short diagrammatic representation, and below that you can go for explanation. You can go for flow chart. You can go for diagrammatic, explanation of things. Apart from this, one can also go for explaining things in a point-wise format, particularly when you're explaining the pros and cons. And whenever there is a question and in front of that question it is written enlist, you can write your answer in point-wise format. Okay? So on initial basis, try these things in the answer writing practices. One more thing, make a daily habit. Okay? Like many of the aspirants, they have a question, sir, how do we write good answers? First thing, consistency is the key. Okay? Like many times what happens, you might have a lot of knowledge, but you're not able to produce that knowledge on a piece of a paper. Why? Because you have never practiced answer writing. Suppose I'll call you on the stage and I'll tell you, please say something on women empowerment. You'll think for a minute and you will start narrating things for next 3 to 4 minutes. But I'll say you, pen down your views. Okay? For initially 2 to 3 minutes, your hand won't move. Why? Because we start pondering upon things, where should I start? First basic aspect for answer writing or improving your answer writing is start practicing it on daily basis. It will hardly take 15 minutes of your day, guys. Just 15 minutes. Make it a habit. Like before you go to sleep, or like before, rather than saying before going to sleep, make it a timetable like early in the morning, okay, or in the afternoon after having a lunch, or before going to the sleep, or in the evening. I'll give 15 minutes just for answer writing, and that should be consistent. Okay, guys. So this was about the basics of the answer writing. Hope the video will help you to an extent. So, guys, Resolution GS P2I Foundation Batch. Okay, it is going to start on 25th of July, and it is a complete English medium batch wherein the courses are completely in English language, rather it be history, geography, polity, economy, current affairs, for that sake, GS paper 4, ethics, or anything. That will cater to the needs of the students, particularly from southern part of India and northeastern India. Okay, guys. So to avail the benefits, you can use the code that is flashing on your screen, Alok Live. Apart from this, I'm also going through the series of medieval Indian history. And approximately I've covered 25 lectures or 25 sessions on different topics of Delhi Sultanate, then Bhakti movement, Sufism. Apart from this, different regional kingdoms or regional sultanates such as Malwa Sultanate, then Jaunpur Sultanate, Gujarat Sultanate, Vijayanagar dynasty or Vijayanagar Empire, precisely the Sangam dynasty of the Vijayanagar Empire, and the Maharanas of Mewar. So you can go through that. Okay, guys. So with this, I'll stop my words for the day. Thank you and have a wonderful day.